So now let's talk about what happened before the cloud. Now, this will help us understand the challenges of running on-premises infrastructure. Now, let's set a scene here. So imagine we are in the early 2000s. You want to start up a company and need to launch a website or an application. Now, there is no cloud. So it's just you and your idea. The big question is, what will you do? Or what do you do? This was the same question for organizations. Now, before the cloud, businesses had to buy physical servers. They needed to get physical locations and set up their infrastructure with power, cooling, and fire suppression systems. They need specialized staff to set up and then maintain this infrastructure, and they had to wait weeks, months, right, for hardwares, purchase licenses, and then even pay staff. And they had to pay all of these upfront. Now, this wasn't only slow, it was expensive and risky in the sense that if companies overestimated their demand, then they get to waste money and resources. If they underestimate too, then it means that they are going to run inefficient systems, which will in turn disappoint customers. Now, I come from a farming community, so I would want to use the farming analogy. So imagine as a farmer, before you grow your crops, right, you need to buy a land, clear the land, buy your tools, install irrigation, store some water, for to cater for shortage periods, and you now build fencing if there is a need to before you could plant your seed. Now, the risk involved is that once the rain fails or demand isn't high, then what happens? There is huge losses, just like companies overspending on their IT infrastructure. So the problem with on-premises infrastructure was that it required high capital expenditure. It also had long provisioning times in the sense that business has to wait for weeks or months to procure, set up, and then configure their equipment. It presented barriers to entry because it means that because of the high cost and then complexity, startups or small businesses, right, it hindered them or had a hindrance in entering the market. It was also not flexible and had wastage because you couldn't upscale quickly. Because if you have one server and maybe you need to scale up, you need to have to wait for weeks or months to procure another one or to get another one to set it up. So before the cloud, running your own server was just like owning your farm. It had high risk, slow to start, and was very expensive. So, how was this solved? In the next episode, we are going to look at how organizations, right, started to solve this problem without having to set up a physical data center or get their own data centers to set up their servers. And it was through a concept called co-location. And we are going to look at co-locations in the next video. So if you found this video helpful, kindly subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified anytime I drop a new video. The name is TheKloudWiz, and I'll see you in the next one.